Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Finn finds experimental treatment for Liam. Steffy's husband saves her ex. The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that Dr. John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, may find an experimental treatment for Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. Will Steffy Forrester's, Jacqueline McSinswood, husband save her ex? During the week of April 14 to 18, there will be some new developments related to Liam's medical condition. Once Dr. Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, returns and works with Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, on Liam's case, they'll reach a shocking conclusion. B&B's weekly preview video shows Grace and Bridget giving Finn some tragic updates in his office. Finn will reel as he learns some inoperable news, so it seems Liam will have a fatal brain tumor. That'll be the last thing Finn wants to hear. Finn knows how much Liam means to Steffy, Kelly Spencer, Sophia Perez, and plenty of other people on Canvas, so he may insist there must be something they can do. Despite Bridget and Grace's bleak prognosis, Finn may refuse to give up without a fight. The show could be gearing up for a situation similar to what happened with Eric Forrester's John McCook terminal illness storyline, which wasn't so terminal after all. Eric's loved ones didn't think he'd survive based on all the gloomy predictions, but Finn came along as a last-minute savior. It was Finn who figured out an experimental treatment that ultimately saved Eric from a grim fate. You can bet Finn will do his research for Liam as well. Finn will be highly motivated to come up with a solution for Liam and try to be a miracle worker. Of course, it's possible this storyline will have a sad ending. If the show really intends to write Liam out for good, he could face his demise thanks to this inoperable tumor diagnosis. That said, Eric's storyline had everyone thinking he was a goner too. Since Eric still is alive and kicking despite all the terminal talk, we have no doubt that Liam could also be saved in the end. If that happens, Finn may once again step up as a hero. Will Finn come through for Liam when it counts and figure out an experimental treatment that saves his life? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Finn will do everything he can to help Liam, so stay tuned to see if he'll be successful. It started with a whisper, barely audible through the sterile buzz of monitors and the sharp scent of antiseptic that hung in the hospital like ghosts of lost hope. Dr. John Finn Finnegan stood at the edge of Liam Spencer's hospital room, his arms crossed tightly across his chest, watching the man who had once been his greatest rival fade under pale sheets and fading odds. Liam's condition had worsened fast. A rare neurological disorder, triggered by trauma, had left him in a fragile state, paralyzed, slipping in and out of consciousness. The best specialists in Los Angeles had been called in. None had a solution. All spoke in tempered tones, riddled with phrases like "no guarantees" and "prepare for the worst." Steffy was breaking. Every day, she sat by Liam's bed, eyes rimmed red, hands clenched. She never said it out loud, but Finn knew. Despite everything, despite their messy past, her marriage to Finn, the betrayals, the tears, Liam still mattered to her. And for reasons he couldn't quite explain, that made it matter to Finn too. At first, he'd stay clinical, detached. But as he pored over Liam's chart night after night, something shifted. This wasn't just about medicine anymore. It was about redemption. For all of them, an unexpected discovery. The breakthrough came in the most unlikely of ways. Finn, sleepless and desperate, stumbled upon an obscure article in a Swiss medical journal. A trial in Zurich involving a radical neuroregenerative serum. The data was preliminary, the risks astronomical, but the results astonishing. He reached out to the lead researcher, a prickly genius named Dr. Emil Reichenbach, who was notoriously selective about his patients. He's not just a patient, Finn argued over the video call. He's a father, a brother, a son. He has people who love him, please. There was a pause on the line. Then Reichenbach nodded slowly. Bring him to Zurich, but you must understand, the treatment could save him, or it could kill him. Finn didn't hesitate. It's a risk conversation. We have to take. Telling Steffi wasn't easy. You want to fly Liam to Switzerland? For an experimental treatment? She asked, disbelief shadowing her features. Finn, what if he doesn't survive the flight? What if it makes things worse? He reached for her hands. Steffi, I wouldn't suggest this if I didn't believe in it. I've reviewed the data. I've spoken to the doctors. This is his only shot. She was silent for a long time, and then, with a trembling voice, she said, Why are you doing this? He's not your responsibility. Finn met her gaze. Because I love you, and because if this were you, I'd want someone to move heaven and earth to save you too. Liam deserves that chance. She blinked back tears, and in that moment, something unspoken passed between them, an understanding, a strange new trust born not out of passion, but compassion. Zurich. Transporting Liam to Zurich was a feat of logistics and prayer. They chartered a medical jet, staffed with specialists. Finn flew with him, never leaving his side. For 72 hours, Liam's life hung by a thread. Once at the Reichenbach Institute, the treatment began immediately. The serum, nicknamed Alethea, was infused directly into Liam's spine. Monitored in isolation, his body reacted violently. Seizures, fever, hallucinations. Finn feared the worst, but slowly, day by day, the storm calmed. Then, one morning, Finn entered the room to find Liam sitting up, confused, blinking against the sunlight. Where am I? He croaked. Finn stared, stunned. Liam? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The fallout back home. News of Liam's miraculous improvement hit Los Angeles like wildfire. Hope Logan was the first to fly out. She broke down sobbing when she saw him, clinging to his hand like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. Thomas kept his distance, shadowed by old resentments, and Steffi, she stayed in Leh a little longer, unsure what seeing Liam awake would stir in her heart. Ridge and Brooke were split on the whole thing. Ridge admired Finn's bravery. Brooke, not so much. He risked everything for Liam, she'd snapped. Doesn't that feel like crossing a line? Taylor disagreed. It wasn't about lines, it was about life, about doing what's right. Coming home changed. When Liam returned to La, the press dubbed it a miracle. But for Liam, it was something more complicated. He remembered flashes, Steffi's voice, Hope's tears, Finn's calm presence in the chaos. He visited Finn's office quietly one afternoon, holding a cup of coffee like a peace offering. You saved my life, he said simply. Finn looked up from his desk. It wasn't just me. You fought, Liam. You came back. Liam shook his head. But you gave me the chance. I'll never forget that. There was an awkward silence, and then they both laughed, tentatively, like enemies learning how to be something else. Ripple effects. The dynamics in the Forrester-Logan-Spencer triangle were forever altered. Steffi found herself pulled in two directions, gratitude toward Finn, and a confusing nostalgia whenever Liam was near. But she held firm. Finn had shown her what true partnership meant. Hope, too, struggled. The man she thought she'd lost came back changed, calmer, wiser, scared in ways only time and trauma can mark. She wasn't sure if they were the same anymore, but she wanted to try. And as for Finn, he returned to his work with quiet pride, not just as a doctor, but as a man who'd made peace with the past. Liam was no longer just Steffi's ex. He was family. Complicated, frustrating, uninvited, but family all the same. Final scene, the beach. One warm spring evening, Steffi, Finn, and Liam stood on the beach, watching their kids chase waves under a setting sun. It was surreal. 3 adults, once tangled in heartbreak, now bound by something stronger than rivalry, shared history, hard choices, and second chances. As the tide rolled in, Finn turned to Liam and said, I didn't think we'd end up here. Liam smiled faintly. Neither did I, but I'm glad we did. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like peace. Want a follow-up or a spin-off scene? Happy to dive deeper.